Howard McGrath to make a statement.
I am speaking to you at almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I feel very confident that President Truman and Senator Barkley will be the next president and vice president of the United States. However, I am not at this hour predicting the outcome.
You know the story about mixed emotions, seeing your mother-in-law drive off a cliff in your new Cadillac. Well, we had some of that because actually, I think at that time, every principal in the firm had voted for Truman. So here we saw our man winning and the company going down the tubes because of the Dewey prediction.
I got a call, I think about 8 o'clock in the morning, to come in to the governor's suite. And I went in, and he said, Miss Ross, I want to dictate a telegram to Truman, congratulating him on his win.
I've sent the following wire to President Truman. My heartiest congratulations to you on your election and every good wish for a successful administration.
Ladies and gentlemen, elected in his own right, the President of the United States.
The next morning, we were on the way back on the train to Washington.
Truman and administrative aide Donald Dawson have a jolly breakfast.
And he pulled out this Chicago Tribune, which I had never seen, and he showed it to me, and he says, Don, he says, I'm going to have a lot of fun with this today.
Did he ever?
If I had bought this newspaper before it was retrieved from the newsstand, it would be worth anywhere from $300 to $500 today at a dealer's. At an auction recently, one copy brought over $1,000. There's a lesson there somewhere. Come back for some more legacies from the fall of 1948.
Our World continues in a moment.
Harry Truman once said that men don't change, that the only new thing in the world is the history you don't know yet. We said our show was about secrets and surprises. Here is some of the history that in the autumn of 1948, they didn't know yet.
The candy bomber returned to Berlin in 1972.
People kept asking us out. We couldn't accept all the invitations. But this one came month after month after month. And finally we said, we got to go to this family. The lady of the house, whom I didn't know except Mrs. Vilt, took me upstairs to their apartment, opened the door to a china cabinet, pulled out an old letter and handed it to me. She said, read this. I took it out, dated in November, 1948. It said, Dear Mercedes, I can't find a white chicken in your backyard. I've been flying around and around, but I hope this package will make it all right with you. So you silly pilot, I'm Mercedes.
The Berlin airlift continued through the brutal winter of 1948. On May 12, 1949, the Soviets lifted the blockade. America and her allies had kept the city alive for nearly a year. In 1961, the Soviet Union isolated Berliners once again, this time from each other. The Berlin Wall still stands, a chilling symbol of the Cold War.
Mailer's graphic novel seemed less graphic after television showed us more about war than we wanted to know.
Today, at least 32 people were killed and more than 100
Television shows us more of everything. What Dr. Kinsey uncovered turned out to be the sexual revolution, and though we hear we're doing it less, we talk about it more today.
I hope that the men who see good-looking women can get sexually aroused, even can have an erection. The women can get sexually aroused, but then they go home and they have good sex with their respective partners.
Game shows moved to television in 1948.
Give us another throw and see if you can identify this one. Ready with bell and buzzer. Okay, Lou? Nina? John, you didn't even wait till the throw was over. What do you say it was, Mr. Bates?
That was the circle throw.
The circle throw is right, and we crown a new champion.
And prize money outruns inflation.
We did a survey after we blew it in 48, to find out what went wrong.
After the 1948 Truman-Dewey election, well, the pollsters were still trying to figure it out.
We asked people whether they voted in last Tuesday's election and who they voted for. And we had Thomas Dewey elected again.
For Truman, victory was sweet and personal. Who could blame him for making fun of the pundits?
That when the country vote comes in, Mr. Truman will be defeated by an overwhelming majority.
Truman went to the people to get the votes. Today, he would go to television, even if more people watch TV than vote.
No one anywhere is saying the job of president is too big for one person. President Reagan. He's doing what he was elected to do.
And by the way, in 1948, this Republican was a Democrat.
Well, there it is, the way it was for a few months in the autumn of 1948. I shared with many Americans in the surprises of that season, in Truman's confounding re-election, in the revelations of Alfred Kinsey, in the day-after-day heroism of the Berlin airlift. But my happiest, most vivid memory is the triumph of the Cleveland Indians over the Boston Braves in the World Series. The Indians' first World Championship since 1920, and their last one. Well, as we remarked at the outset, it was an innocent time, no matter what Kinsey said.
Innocent? That summer, the national political conventions were broadcast on television for the first time, and it took almost no time for politicians to stop squirming in front of and start playing to the camera. Television was equally seduced, quickly ignoring substance if it lacked style. Was this innocence or ignorance? You must judge. I can't be trusted. I don't run for office. I work for television. Therefore, I look at the presidential campaign of 1948 not as the first time television covered the thing, but as the last time nobody blamed television for its outcome. And so it goes.
These things also happened in the fall of 1948.
In Hollywood, Robert Mitchum was indicted for smoking marijuana.
Time magazine, reporting the story, felt obliged to explain what marijuana was.
Greta Garbo applied for U.S. citizenship.
The New York City Ballet, George Balanchine, artistic director, made its debut.
Campbell's V8 juice made its debut.
Wild Rex Barney of the Brooklyn Dodgers pitched a no-hitter against the New York Giants.
In Santa Fe, New Mexico, Martha Graham and her dance partner Eric Hawkins were married.
Hedy Lamarr and actor John Loder were divorced.
Mildred Elizabeth Gillers, alias Axis Sally, was indicted for treason for her pro-Nazi broadcast in World War II.
And 4-year-old Linda Ellerby, testing her theory that she could fly, jumped out of a chinaberry tree and broke her arm.
For the Our World Study Guide, write to Community Relations, ABC, 1330 Avenue of the Americas, New York, New York, 10019.
For a transcript of this broadcast, send $3 to Our World Transcripts, 2 John Street, New York, New York, 10038.